How to handle behavioral issues in the classroom. As teachers, the only things we will be able to control in our classroom related to behavior will be the classroom environment and how we respond to students' behavior. This guide will help you respond consistently, compassionately, and effectively. Method 1: Watching the student's behavior. 1. Be an effective monitor of students' behavior. This is because it will put pressure on students to comply with the classroom rules and procedures since they know they are being watched. This strategy is a preventative strategy, meaning that it will help prevent negative behavior from occurring. Intervene immediately if one student is bothering or bullying another. Students may act out if they feel that you aren't paying enough attention to them. 2. Make sure that students' needs are being met. Students may behave oddly because they are overwhelmed, or it's the only way to communicate. Flopping on the floor or non-compliance usually mean that a student is overwhelmed and may need a short break. Drinking from the sink probably means they are thirsty. Difficulty staying in their seat probably means they need more activity in their day. 3. Move around the classroom. Move around as you teach, and don't leave your back facing the class for long periods of time. Evertson 135. 4. During group work, circulate around the room. This will allow you to help students who need it, but also keep an eye out for warning signs of stress. It may be difficult to monitor students during individual work as well, since some students may need extra help and attention than others, who may become jealous. Encourage students to ask their neighbor for help before asking you. Evertson 135. Method 2: Encouraging self-monitoring. 1. Teach autistic sensory children about the signs of a meltdown. Encourage them to recognize when they are overwhelmed, and to communicate that they are distressed to an adult. If you notice mounting distress, ask if they need a break. You can set up a calming down corner for this purpose. 2. Teach self-calming techniques. Behavioral issues may arise when a child becomes overwhelmed by emotions or stimuli, and they may not know how to calm down. Teach them how to use counting, deep breathing, imagery, stimming, rocking, fidgeting, common in autistic students. Self-talk. 3. Teach them how and when to get an adult. Some problems can be solved by deep breathing, others require adult intervention. Tell them to try to solve it by themselves, and if they can't, they should get a grown-up. Teach assertiveness. I need help with _______, please. Emphasize that it is okay to ask for help, and they are not being an annoyance. They won't tell a grown-up if the grown-ups don't listen. Respect their communication, and if they come to you with a problem, put forth an honest effort to help out. 4. Keep a box of STIM toys. These include stress balls, tangles, rubber sea urchins, beanbags, and other toys they can manipulate in their hands. Encourage them to go to the box and pick one out whenever they need to. This can help with fidgeting and restlessness, keeping hands to self, staying in their seat, emotional regulation. Method 3: Being consistent with expectations. 1. Set up a clear visual schedule, with a picture and words representing each activity. This will help students predict their day. Try to keep each day similar to the next. For example, math always happens at 1 o'clock, after recess. At the beginning of each day, read the schedule aloud. Hang it where students can easily look at it for reference. 2. Give 5- and 10-minute warnings before a transition occurs. Handling transitions can be difficult for some special needs students, and giving extra time to prepare can help. Consider getting a light-up timer to demonstrate how much time is left. Praise them when they handle it well. 3. Keep your rules and consequences consistent. Inconsistent behavior on your part will lead to confusion and anxiety among students. Don't let a better-behaved student get away with doing something that a worse-behaved student isn't allowed to do. This is unfair, and they won't understand how rules work. Some students may try to test limits. Make it clear that the consequences will be the same each time. 4. Consider making a poster of some basic class rules. These include: be respectful of everyone, keep your hands to yourself, and don't talk while the teacher talks. This can help the students remember the rules, and you can point out the poster if a child is refusing to follow a rule. Method 4: Calmly handling negative behavior. 1. Although it is not a good idea to ignore negative behavior, it is important to approach students who are misbehaving without overreacting. Evertson 137. This strategy should be used while students are misbehaving, or even after a lesson if approaching the situation would be even more distracting and is inconvenient in the middle of a lesson. It is important to not overreact during these situations, because that may cause students to enjoy the attention and continue the action for more attention. 2. Give a quiet signal if they are acting inappropriately. Move closer to the student or making eye contact directly with the student and use a signal such as a finger to the lips to signal to be quiet or to shake one's head back and forth. Evertson 137. This strategy is effective because it avoids confronting the student in front of the whole class abruptly while still providing a reminder for that student to get back on task. 3. Thank the students who are behaving well. For example, "Thank you for getting out your books so quickly." The students will self-evaluate whether they are doing this or not, and the ones who aren't may decide that they should do so. 4. Provide a clear alternative. Children may misbehave because they don't know how else to get what they want. Tell them what you'd like them to do instead, and why this is a better idea, and they may meet your positive expectations. You must keep your hands to yourself. It's rude to touch other people without their permission. If you need to flap your hands around, keep them to yourself, or go pick out a stim toy from the bin. It's not okay to scream indoors. Some people have sensitive ears and your screaming hurts them. If you want something, please take some deep breaths and ask for it with your words or with the picture binder. 5. When students begin using a better behavior, consolidate the gain. Tell them that you appreciate it, and that you are happy to see them communicating well. "Thank you for telling me that you need a drink so calmly. I'll go get you a cup of water." 6. Always listen well and seek to understand. If you know why they're doing what they're doing, you can meet the need and teach them to communicate better. Once the children sense that you care about what they have to say, whether they say it correctly or not, they will open up. Method 5: Creating a positive atmosphere. 1. In order to provide praise to students, a teacher needs to be nonjudgmental and praise the individual student's accomplishment or the class, rather than comparing one student or one class to another. Curran 6. This is important because it promotes individual growth and allows the student to feel special rather than putting down another student or promoting unhealthy competition in the classroom. Effective praise or rewards create a positive classroom environment because it allows students to feel accomplished on a personal level and may prevent negative types of behavior. Curran 6. 2. Accept individual differences. Rather than viewing it as looking past a disability to see a person who has a disability. Don't try to make them indistinguishable from their peers, focus on learning skills and adapting to the world, real social skills. Teach them to accept themselves and others. Assume that any repetitive motions are important, even if they don't make sense to you, real social skills. 3. Admit your mistakes. Sometimes, you may lose your temper or behave in a way that you regret. It is okay to apologize, and go back on what you said. Beisman. "I'm sorry that I raised my voice at you. I don't want to be scary or yell at you. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry that I put you in timeout. You were trying to tell me that something was wrong, and I wasn't listening. I should have taken some deep breaths and listened more carefully to you." 4. Validate their feelings. This helps them feel understood. Practice validating others' feelings, not just for the students, but for everyone in your life. "I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been no fun. So you're feeling angry with her because she took your toy while you were still playing with it. I understand it can be no fun being away from your mom all morning. What would help you feel better?" Method 6: Providing choice in the classroom. 1. Let them live their own lives as they choose. Maybe they'd rather read chapter books than play with their peers. This is their choice to make. Real social skills. Teach them how to interact, but do not force interaction. Respecting their autonomy and choices will make them feel valued as human beings. 2. Provide different materials for the children to work with. Try manipulatives during math, computers during writer's workshop, or different genres of books for reading, current 13. Choice could be included in assignments by allowing students different ways to express their ideas such as through art, writing, or a presentation, current 13. 3. Ask students if they want to work alone, or in a group, or in another setting such as the floor or reading corner, current 13. 4. Work on cooperation, not compliance, Beisman. Compliance training removes choices, which can leave children vulnerable to peer pressure and abuse. Cooperation encourages working together, while each person's autonomy is respected. Rather than saying no, try saying yes with conditions. Or, explain why you said no, and offer a way to make it more agreeable. You need to sit down in order to do your math. Would you like to sit on a seat wedge or exercise ball instead of a normal chair?